Greetings, tasty morsels. This is Reverse BLT here. Welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. I'm continuing my conclusion of season 4 binge watch for the Expanse.
Ooh, bacon.
This episode, episode 8 of season 4, is entitled "The One-Eyed Man." And of course, that's the first half of the old phrase. Well, not the first half, but it's part of the old phrase, "In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king." Clear reference to Holden, who, as we know, is the only person who seems unaffected by whatever's happening to everybody's eyes on Ilus. And we got the introduction after learning that everyone's starting to go blind. We got the introduction of the slugs, which I did not think were going to be in here. But yeah, the deadly slugs that if they touch you, you're done.
お前はもう死んでいる。
I wasn't expecting to see those guys. Everything's starting to slowly go sideways. Well, actually, it's starting to pick up steam. It's going sideways faster and faster now because of the eye thing and the situation with the slugs. And Murtry told his assistant, that was his lieutenant, that he wants her to be ready to help him because he intends to kill Holden to ensure that their claim on Ilus goes through without a hitch. The Barba Piccola.
Do you want to try that again?
The Barba Piccola. All the ships are in a decaying orbit around Ilus at the moment because fusion was turned off by the protomolecule. But it is in a lower orbit, so it's going to fall out of the sky basically in a couple of days. Lucia, I want to say it's Lucia, basically came up with a plan to try and use the Rossi to sort of tow the Barba Piccola into a higher orbit. On Earth, Nancy Gao is getting a lot of interesting assistance, whether direct or indirect. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know whether she's actually in cahoots with Marco Inaros or if it's just a happy coincidence that she's skilled enough at politics to take advantage of. But Inaros has so far pulled an attempted sneak attack and then sort of lured the UN into trying to take a ship that it appears he then blew up using probably Naomi's software from back in the day, to just sort of little things to basically make Avasarala look incompetent or weak. We did not get to actually see what happened to the ship. I am assuming it blew up. I'm assuming its fusion drive was sent critical by Naomi's program, but we don't know that for sure. So I expect that we'll start with that, or we'll get into it fairly quickly to find out what happened there, and then we'll move into the fallout. We also need to get back to Mars because there's elements going on Mars that are extremely important to where the story is headed. So we can't waste time not showing it. With 3 episodes left, I think we're going to have to get back to it either this episode or at the latest next episode. And we need to see what Miller has been up to. So I think we'll either see him again this episode or next episode. But let's find out.
Ma'am, General McCourt is here to see you.
Send him in.
You resigning?
Hindsight doesn't change what we still need to accomplish.
12 soldiers. Dozens of innocent civilians died to boost your poll numbers.
It's always weird to me to hear a Marine call other Marines soldiers. It's like I grew up around a lot of Marines, and it's like they pop you in the mouth for calling them soldiers. They're Marines.
This station is the backbone of the Belt's economic future. We must do whatever we have to protect it.
You can do it without me. I quit.
Bigger pictures.
Drama.
She's got the acumen for politics, but not the stomach for it. And I can understand that. I mean, politics is such a dirty thing. You have to make so many BS deals.
Amos?
You got them all. They're dead.
I'm just sending a message to the rest of them. Make sure they don't keep coming.
They're slugs, Amos. And again, they are alien slugs, so how would he know?
I'm good.
Amos, you don't have infinite fuel for whatever, for however that thing works.
I'm keeping it.
Well, people tend to regress to their core programming, so to speak, when under stress. Less to think about.
The slugs secrete a powerful neurotoxin that immediately paralyzes humans and causes respiratory failure upon contact with our skin.
Anything in there about some kind of possible vaccine?
I don't think you can vaccine against that.
English, motherfucker! Do you speak
Vaccinate. Check up on Bobbie. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that she
Absolutely.
shacked up with
Sorry, I gotta
guy
go.
from the bar. Lucky bastard.
Grab a coffee downstairs.
I got pancakes too, if that's more your thing.
Man, beautiful,
What's the rush?
tough, and she makes you breakfast.
I got a job interview.
I'm fully in love.
You didn't mention anything last night.
You guys are probably a little too busy.
I didn't say anything because I didn't want to ruin any of this.
You're not ruining anything.
All right.
Gotta get the loving while the loving's good to get. You never know when you won't be able to anymore.
You mean we're getting paid not to ask questions, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
I'm fine with that. If easy money isn't your thing, three-way split's better than four, so.
Easy money, if they're paying you a ton more than usual, I'm expecting there to be a reason for that. It's due, but when is it due? Due when? I make no apologies. Gotta keep practicing all my dad jokes for when I finally become a dad, you know?
That ship has sailed, don't we think?
What? What happened?
I think someone walked away. That way.
Amos.
Listen to me. Say something.
Jesus Christ! Stop!
He's afraid. It's been the first time he's been afraid in a long time, I'm sure. He's used to being someone who has solutions. Who can fight. There's no solution here that he can come up with. There's no way to fight this.
All right. Sorry.
True friends, man.
Amos. Amos, look at me.
Look at me. Can't see you right now, so what's the point?
As long as we're still breathing, we're alive. I can't lose you.
It's about family, damn it.
The longer Marco lives, the more followers he will recruit, and the more our nation and our peace will be at risk. And I also admit I am eager to see his pretty face floating outside the airlock.
I see age hasn't changed everything.
You know, for this mission, I am going to need a good exo.
I don't know. She's probably gotten pretty used to giving you orders now. I don't know if she wants to follow them from you now.
Excuse me.
Emily pushed Charlotte's cheating.
It's bedtime.
Can I get you a drink?
I'm good, thank you.
Come on, let's go.
These are the rascals.
I think it's always interesting to people how normal bad guys can be.
Those planets are habitable. There's no reason why Mars should continue terraforming.
Mars has been terraforming for generations.
But it won't.
It's a part of our culture. We're not going to abandon it.
Yes, you will.
I was a good Martian my entire life because I wanted my children to get their share of the rewards. Well, one way or another, I'm going to make sure they get what they deserve.
You can't get your family off the planet if you're dead.
Should listen to her. Her instincts are telling her.
Just don't go in too far.
Good safety tip.
Oy. I have a hard enough time just like putting in contacts and stuff.
How long do you think it's going to take until...
Gee whiz, future technology. How things going, Avasarala? Is Gal in the lead now?
I'm sorry, memorials are never easy. And how impersonal they are makes them even worse.
Thinking about your son?
My job is to keep the people of this planet safe. And I failed to do that for your loved ones. I failed all of you, as a mother and as a leader.
Giving her a son for the adaptation was one of the smartest decisions they made. Oh, cool. I want crazy augmented reality game things.
Do you want to grab a beer, sit down and talk?
Love to, but I can't. I got an orientation meeting I gotta get to.
Grab a beer? How much time has passed?
You're not coming.
I've worked for both Anderson Dawes and Fred Johnson. Big men with big dreams.
Now, what are you going to do then?
Stay out of politics.
Sure.
Ty nie łaczesz, ku.
That's nice. I always love it when something that's relatively mundane can be made super tense. They're literally just threading a cable from one point to another, but like it's like nail biting television. That thing does not look strong enough to to pull millions of tons, does it?
The secret is modern design.
Physics! Get away from that cable, though. That thing snaps while you guys are near it. Rip them right in half.
Now I can say I took you in a fight.
You can say whatever you want.
It's a good thing there weren't any slugs in that opening, eh? Is it snowing? Or is this fallout?
Something good finally came out of being on errors.
Oh, Eve.
All we did was buy ourselves more time.
And that's what we're going to keep on doing.
Where's Mercury?
Our Secretary General's words to the families of the Marines and her honesty for accepting the blame for her missteps show why she is such an honorable woman.
Miss Gao, do you
That was
have
a
any comments on the
very
new images from New Terra?
Good.
Did they change your position on the ring gate and exploring
statement.
new worlds?
What images?
All your words today were lies. There is nothing righteous in winning this way.
I did what needed to be done.
You used our son's death for political advantage.
This is why I don't want to be a politician.
What I said about Charnapol, that wasn't a lie. Every word was the truth.
It's like you have to make so many compromises that at some point I think it becomes difficult to even remember where the real you begins and the political you ends, you know?
Mrs. Mercury, has the light shuttle been prepared with a proximity detonator?
Interesting. All right. Interesting way of doing that. Yeah, I say all the time, like, one of my favorite things about adaptations is seeing how they remix elements from the original material.
Blasphemy!
We got some character moments that I don't think we had in the book, especially that nice little bit between Holden and Amos, really just underscoring how strong of a bond they've developed over the years. I think back to when they first met, how Amos told him he would throw him off the ship and it wouldn't mean anything to him, except that it might upset Naomi. Being completely unwilling to see him as the leader and all that stuff. And then Holden holding a gun to the back of Amos's head and wanting him as far away from the crew as possible. And now, you know, they're so tight. They're like brothers, you know? That's one of my favorite things about, you know, the kind of trope that we get with shows like this, where the found family, you know, like the Rossi crew really does feel like a family. Makes me misty-eyed, you know? They've gone through so much together, and I'm thinking about some of the other stuff they're about to go through. It's also interesting, like, seeing the inner plot, so to speak. And Drummer would shoot me for saying it because I'm actually considering her part of this at the moment because of what I'm going to say here. On the soul side of the ring, including Medina Station, or each major person that we're following is having to deal with the question of what they will compromise about themselves in order to achieve the future they want. Avasarala has decided that winning is so important that she will basically say or do anything necessary to win. Bobbie appears to have finally come to her crisis point of really understanding that Mars is not going to survive this new era, at least not the way it is. It's the same, and interesting enough, it's the same thing that everybody's had to deal with, because that you have obviously Avasarala is dealing with that, but also Draper has to deal with that too. The belt will not survive as it is with these new worlds out there. It changes everything. The whole game changes because they were all defined by their relationship to space. Earth obviously has a very remote relationship to space. Space is just a place where resources come from. Mars has a sort of middle ground relationship with space because they don't have their own atmosphere really. I mean, their atmosphere is very light, and they're trying to make an atmosphere, and their resources come from space. The Belters, of course, are just space. They have these tiny little places where they can live a sort of like a simulated version of what even Mars might get. But in general, they grow up constantly surrounded by the pure vacuum of space, basically, and no gravity and all these things. But now all these worlds have completely changed that. And so for Draper, are you willing to give up what you think makes you a Belter in order to get into this new future? For Bobbie, are you willing to accept that Mars is over and go into an uncertain future? And for Vasarala, are you willing to keep your integrity if it means possibly losing? I think that she has good intentions, sure, but like deep down inside, she's also just someone who can't bear losing. And that's driving more of her decision making than I think she can admit to herself right now. We're definitely, I think, going to see a lot more Miller next episode. Next episode should also at least start a confrontation between Murtry and Holden, which of course will put their respective lieutenants at odds with each other, which is interesting in and of itself, obviously, because they've become close while being here on Ilus. As always, do your best to stay safe and be well, and I will see you for the next one, guys. Bye-bye.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man.